Plot equals characters plus surprise. Without characters, plots couldn't exist, and without surprise, plots would be boring. This video shows how authors work different kinds of characters and surprises into plots.
Sometimes a character's actions lead to big surprises in a story's plot. In this story, Angelina is a complex character.
When is this going to stop? I never even gave them my number. Did you get our text? You obviously did. Look at how you're dressed. Why can't I say something? I feel frozen.
Angelina is trying to overcome this obstacle in her life. The plot is reaching the point where the author might include a surprise.
Guys, why don't you back off? What did I ever do to you?
Angelina finds a way to confront her foes. That's an eye-opener, but there's one more twist left.
Did you get our text, Angelina? We are so sorry for what we did. We came over to apologize. Yeah, I guess we were being stupid mean girls. It took us a while to see that.
So Angelina's foes are not so bad after all. There's a surprise.
Characters, surprise, and plot development. By watching this video, you'll learn about the difference between complex and flat characters and see examples of the ways characters advance the plot.
Hey, Olivia here. I've been camping with my friends, and we've been telling stories by the campfire. So I was thinking, which type of character is more interesting, heroes or villains? It really depends on which type of character it is. It depends on whether that character is flat or complex. It's kind of like the difference between this living, growing tree and a plain solid rock. Let's take a closer look at what that means. Complex characters have many traits, and they grow and change during a story. A complex character is like a tree. A complex character can be shy, determined, loyal, and more. Any one of these traits can advance the plot. For example, a character's shyness can be an obstacle she has to overcome so she can speak in front of a crowd. Complex characters' traits can change, like a tree going from spring to fall. A character can even lose a trait, like changing from being shy to being confident. In other words, the character is turned over a new leaf. So now let's look at flat characters. A flat character is like a big rock. Unlike the tree, it never changes. Flat characters usually have one or two traits at most, like good or evil, and they are used to advance the plot. They play a specific role in the story, like a friend or a villain. A flat character can create an obstacle to the complex character's goal, such as overcoming shyness. The complex character overcomes the obstacles by learning to lose her shyness and become confident. You can have one big flat character, or there can be a few smaller flat characters, but none of them will change, and all of them are used only to advance the plot. One of my favorite parts of reading is that authors can create surprise in their stories based on a character's actions or choices. Maybe it's how a complex character changes during a story, or maybe the character you thought was the hero turns out to be the villain. Or maybe the villain has a lot of good sides, which creates some sympathy. There's so much an author can do with complex characters.
Key concept. Fascinating characters and surprising events push plots forward. Characters can be flat, simple, or complex. A surprise in the middle or end of a plot makes a story one that readers will remember. How do writers do all that? Let's take a closer look. Begin by reviewing some keywords. Remember, Parallel lines run next to each other. Example. A story begins by introducing twins who are separated shortly after birth. The story follows each twin separately through childhood and adolescence until they meet unexpectedly in college. Remember, if a shadow appears over your shoulder, you know before you turn around that someone is standing behind you. Example. In a science fiction story, the astronomer might see some unusual objects in the sky but dismiss them as unimportant. The author is hinting to the reader that those objects are significant to something that will happen later in the story. Remember, chron means time, so chronological order is time order. Example. Here is a paragraph written in chronological order. When I got up this morning, I took a shower and dressed for the day. I went out to the kitchen and ate some breakfast. Then I brushed my teeth. Remember, something that is complex is made up of many different parts. Example. At the beginning of a story, Tommy hates having his little brother hang around. But his little brother has a great idea to help Tommy and his friends build their tree house, and by the end of the story, Tommy appreciates his little brother in a new way. Remember, imagine a paper doll. It is flat. Example. The grumpy neighbor who lives next door to Alton is consistently in a bad mood throughout the story. Tommy has never seen him without a frown on his face. Remember, have you ever had a flash of memory that makes you think back to something that happened before? Example. Please, just babysit the triplets once more, she begged. I thought back to the last time. Peanut butter in the dog's fur, triplets running in 3 different directions, a beloved stuffed animal going for a swim in the toilet. I just can't, I told my cousin. Sorry.